Okay guys, so hopefully you got all green on those examples, but if not, don't worry, we're gonna review them here, and so that way when you do your activity today, you can reference this and ensure that you're doing it correctly. So first things first, we're dealing with triangle MPN, and we first notice that we have 3 interior angles, and they're being represented by these expressions. We have the measure of angle M right here, measure of angle N, and the measure of angle P. In this triangle, we're not given any information, we're not giving any angles like before. So first things first, we need to write our equation. So again, the measure of angle N plus the measure of angle, actually I'm going to go ahead and write that on the line. Alright, so we have the measure of angle P plus the measure of angle M plus the measure of angle N, and again, because of the theorem, the rule, they have to add up to 180 degrees. And again, we're using addition because again, in the theorem, it states the sum. And again, we know that sum is associated with addition. All right, so we're going to plug in the information. So angle P is 2x plus, again, because we're talking about sum, plus angle M, which is 4x minus 20, plus, and measure of angle N is 2x, and all of that's equal to 180 degrees. Okay, now with this, now we have our equation. Okay, so we have our equation here. Now we're actually going to combine or solve for x. So we're going to look on the left-hand side and we're going to combine any like terms. Again, we're combining constants, and then we're combining any variables that are the same. So I'm going to combine the variables because there's only one constant here. So I'm going to combine anything that has an x with it. So 2x, 4x, and 2x again. So again, remember, when we're combining these, all we're doing, since the variable is the same, okay, that doesn't change. The variable is still going to be x. All I'm adding is the coefficients. So I'm adding 2, 4, and 2. Okay, so that gives me 2 plus 4 is 6, 4 plus 2 is 8. So that gives me 8x. And then now what we have left is this minus 20, which is our constant. So we're going to bring that down, minus 20. And some of you might be thinking, well, I thought we were adding here. We are adding, okay? But here in this case, the minus 20 is the only constant, and that we can't combine that with anything else on the left-hand side. So that still remains minus 20. All right, and then all of this is still equal to 180 degrees. And so now we're going to solve for x. All right, so again, I'm going to subtract, or I'm going to get rid of this minus 20 by using the inverse operation. So I'm going to add 20 to both sides. All right, we get that 0 pair. All right, I have 8x on the left is equal to 180 plus 20 is 200. All right, and now again, I still want x by itself. So I'm going to divide by 8 on both sides. Again, this becomes 1 because the numerator and the denominator are the same. I finally have x by itself. And 200 divided by 8, if you're unsure, you can use the calculator. 200 divided by 8, and it gets 25. So x equals 25. All right, but again, I'm not done. That's just telling me what x is representing. Now I have to take this solution here and plug it back into the angles. All right, so P is 2 times 25. Actually, let me go ahead and so again, the measure of angle P is 2x. So wherever I see the x, I'm going to plug in 25. So 2 times 25, which is 50. All right, so angle P is 50 degrees. But if you also notice, N and P are the same. They're both being represented by 2x. So if P is 50 degrees, then N should be 50 degrees as well. So 2 times, oops. All right, so we have 2x. But again, we're going to substitute the x for 25. So 2 times 25 is 50 degrees. And again, you can always double check with a calculator. Okay, last but not least, we're going to focus on angle M. So this expression is 4x minus 20. So 4 times 25 minus 20. And again, 4 times 25, you can think of quarters. If you have 4 quarters, that's $1. So 4 times 25 is 100. Minus 20 is 80 degrees. Okay, so here are our angle measures, 50, 50, and 80. And again, if you want to double check, if you add those together, they should equal 180 degrees. So we can take, again, because of the theorem where it states that they should add up to 180. So 50, 50, and 80. Okay, if we add those together, that's 0. 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 plus 8 is 18. And yes, 180 degrees. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This triangle WYX. Again, first things first, we need to write our equation. This actually gives us one of the interior angles, which is 68 degrees, so that's kind of nice. So our equation is going to be the measure of angle Y plus the measure of angle W plus the measure of angle Z has to equal 180 degrees. Okay, so now I'm going to plug in my information. 6x plus 1 plus the measure of angle W, which is 13x minus 3 plus 13x minus 3 plus the measure of angle Z, which is 68, equals 180 degrees. Okay, so again, we want to combine any constants or combined variables before we start solving for x. All right, so I'm going to combine the variables first. I have 6x, 13x, so 6, and again, so when they're the same variable, we're just adding the coefficients together and the variable stays the same. So I'm just going to add 6 plus 13, and that is 19. Okay, and then and the variable stays the same. Now I'm going to combine the constants, which are plus 1, minus 3, plus 68. So again, get your happened again. Get your calculator out. Move this to the side here. So 1, and again this minus 3, so minus 3 plus 68, and I get 66. And it's a positive 66, guys. Plus 66 equals 180 degrees. Okay, now that I've combined all my like terms, now I can go ahead and solve for x. So here, I'm going to subtract 66 from both sides. Okay, I'm going to use my calculator. So 180 minus 66 gives me 114 on the right. On the left side, I'm just left with this 19x. Okay, and again, to get x by itself, I need to go ahead and divide by the coefficient. and in this case that is 19. This becomes 1. So I have x equals, and then I have to divide 114 by 19. 114 divided by 19, and I get 6. So x equals 6. But again, that's my solution for x, not my angle measures. So now I have to take that solution and plug it into the angles. So I know z is 68 because it tells me. So I don't have to solve anything for there. So measure of angle z should have been 68 degrees. I just have to solve for y and w. So y is 6x plus 1. And again, so I know x now, so I can plug that in. 6 times 6 plus 1. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 1 is 37. Alright, so the measure of angle y is 37. W is 13x minus 3. And again, I'm going to plug my solution in. 13 times 6 minus 3. So again, I'm going to use my calculator just to make sure. 13 times 6 is 78 minus 3 is 75 degrees. But again, I want to double check that all three of these angle measures, 68, 75, and 37, add up to 180 degrees just to be safe. So 68 plus 75 plus 37, yes, it's 180 degrees. So I know that my solution, so my angle measures are 37, 75, and 68. All right, guys, hopefully you found this helpful. Let me know how you feel about the topic, and go ahead and make sure that you are doing the activity for today. It's over what we just covered in this video. If you don't finish, make sure to click save and return to finish it when you do have time. Also for the assignment, make sure you're logging in with Google and using your Aldine email. Alright guys, so I hope you have a great day. Let me know how you feel about this topic in the next question, and I will see you tomorrow.